wa uzima. Tuungane sote tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika. Chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya utamaduni, tumaini letu wakati wa mafarakano. Enyi bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima.
Tuifanye Africa mti wa uzima means let us make Africa the tree of life. My name is Kato Mukasa and I want to welcome you all to yet another beautiful episode right here at Humanist TV Africa. Right here at Humanist TV Africa. Humanist TV Africa is a registered non-government organization registered to do media work. We are registered to do media work. We are the first one of its kind in our circles, registered to do purely media work. We have offices and studios in Uganda. We are in Kenya. We are in Zambia and Zimbabwe. We are in Ghana and Nigeria, Sierra Leone, UK, and the US. We have studios there and it's growing. We are growing network of media registered to do exactly this work. Join us as we embark on this journey, transforming one person at a time, one village at a time, one sub-country, one sub-county, one county, one district, one country, and a unit of people per a day. We want to change lives. We want to be part of the change makers. We want to be part of the solutions to our problems. Today, I want to encourage you to please subscribe to Humanist TV Africa, but also send us an email. Our email is info@humanisttvafrica.com, and our WhatsApp number is right on that screen. Please send us a message. Our communication director will be able to speak with you. Today, we are talking about humanism. We are talking about humanist parenting. If you're a humanist, how do you raise your children? You're a humanist, staying in a highly religious environment. Our children go to schools where they are taught all these absurdities, where they are taught all these lies. And the teachers think that these lies are accurate. Our children go to religious places. They go to shrines. If you're in Africa, we call them amasabo. They go to shrines. They go to temples. They go to mosques. They go to churches. They go to sanctuaries. Our children go to all these places and they get indoctrinated. And you're a parent who doesn't believe in dogma, who doesn't believe in absurdities, who believes in things that are verifiable, who believes in empirical evidence, who believes in practical realities. not visions, not illusions, not imaginations, not stories in the so-called holy books that are not holy. The books are called holy books, but actually are not holy. How do you then raise children in such environment to make them think for themselves? This is episode 5. Call it part 5. If you have missed our series, please go back in the archives and simply put in Humanist Parenting. You are going to see all other episodes coming up. In the studio with me is Hussein Baya, who is based in Kenya, doing the production with me. Remember, we are live into production. Let us look at what we have prepared for you today. I told you that if you want to train your children, show them brief videos of absurdities and ask them questions. My method I introduce them to simple, brief videos of absurdities, of stupidities done in religious circles, and then ask them questions. Children are very smarter than what you think. Children can surprise you with the answer they will give you. Let us watch these videos. Videos and images that help children to think. I now invite my producer to showcase some of these images and videos, and then we shall gradually appreciate how we can all help our children to think critically and start asking the important questions. What is humanism, for example? Ask this question to children. They are going to say humanism, I think, comes from the word human. Then tell them that a humanist is a person who puts the human being at the center of doing things. A humanist doesn't put God first because God does not exist. A humanist considers a human being as a priority. Now, humanism in a nutshell is putting human beings and other living things at the center of your moral outlook. Number 2, humanism means seeing the world as a natural place and looking to science and reason to make sense of that world. Number 3, humanism means promoting and supporting human flourishing across all frontiers and championing human rights for everyone. And that is all about humanism. That is humanism. Teach this to your children. Tell them humanism means putting human beings at the center of other living things and at the center of your moral outlook. The way you look at the world, that is humanism. Is it the right thing to do? Will it affect other people? That is humanism in practice. Let's look at other images that explain humanism. Now, humanism, in a nutshell, means putting human beings and other living things at the center of your moral outlook, seeing the world as a natural place and looking to science and reason to make sense of that world, and promoting and supporting human flourishing across all frontiers and championing human rights for everyone. Teach this to your children. Tell them that humanism is a non-theistic worldview with ethical values informed by scientific knowledge and driven by a desire to meet the needs of people in the here and now. For us humanists, we believe life here and now. Now, these are happy children. My daughter's right there at home. Happy children. We teach our children to be happy because we want to make the world better for them. Let's look at other images of happy children. Yes, happy children. Humanists endeavor to make children appreciate the world in which we are. And look at children. Children are not racist. Children don't see us in terms of our color until when we tell them to distinguish between a Caucasian, an Asian, and a black person. Children are children. They will love anyone, regardless of how you look. Until when you introduce hate to them, children will always remain children. Now, teach your children to love one another. That is humanism. Teach them to care for one another. That is humanism. Now, you see, the other children are happy. These other children are seriously learning the Quran. And this school is a madrasa school where they go and learn about Allah, about angels, about a flying horse, and about fighting for Allah. They call it a jihad. Now, when you are training your children to kill others to please Allah, it means you are endangering the lives of your children, but also the lives of others. Teach humanism by telling your children that humanists are not racists. We don't promote racism. We are one people. Black, white, brown, we all bleed the same. And of course, use humanist ceremonies to foster humanism within your children. Use humanist ceremonies such as baby namings, such as wedding functions, such as funeral ceremonies. Use these ceremonies to teach your children about the existence of humanism. Let us continue with other images if you can find them. And then we have a look at the videos that also summarize them. Now, humanism teaches children to avoid fear because fear means forget everything and run. Or it can mean face everything and rise. The choice is yours. Now, religion introduces fear. Humanism teaches children how to handle fear, face everything, and rise. Remember, Lao Tzu, one of those Chinese philosophers, said, "The best fighter is never hungry." Humanism should teach our children to control their anger, to be in position of their mental faculty. Remember what Friedrich Nietzsche said, that all truths that are kept in silence become poisonous. Therefore, teach children about the truth, about religion, that these are fallacies, these are lies. This is propaganda put in these books, Quran, Bible, all these books, Torah, all these books are full of propaganda. They are poisonous. A child must think through them. Do not confuse follow the science with follow the scientists. Tell the children that whereas humanists actually put science as a priority, but we don't follow the scientists. Tomorrow we're going to see Dawkins becoming funny. Don't follow the scientists. Look at the science. Now teach the children about the 10 symptoms of woke mind. To be woke is to be alert, to know your environment. Teach them to read books and not to ban books. Teach your children to embrace science, but not to godify the scientists. The scientists can do wrong. Science can go wrong. Teach them to think through science as well. Now, make them be willing to change their mind when new information is available. Make children understand that not everything is as clear, that everything must be black and white, because we live in a world where we have been told everything is about black and white. Black and white. The world is not about black and white. The world is more than that. There's brown, there's blue, there is yellow, there is orange. The world is not about black and white. So teach them about other alternatives. Now, make them believe in equality of all people. Make them love to share. Embrace cooperation than competition. Make your children respect others' rights. Tell them we can have disagreements, but we remain human beings after all. Make them love their culture and art. Also, make them care for their environment. Now, there are fallacies that you should teach your children to avoid. In the next episode, I'll explain these fallacies: the ad hominem, the straw man, the appeal to authority, the slippery slope, the bandwagon, red herring, appeal tradition, and all others. These I'm going to explain in my next episode about how do you help your children to think. But for now, introduce them to these fallacies that they must be aware of. Let us look at other images, please. Science is not the truth. Teach your children that science is not the truth, but science helps us to find the truth. When science changes its opinion, it didn't lie to you. It means science learned more. Science is flexible. Science can change. Teach them about the four-way test of things we think, say, or do. Teach your children that before you say something, before you do something, ask yourself, is it the truth? Then ask yourself, is this fair to other people? Ask your children to ask themselves, will it build goodwill? What I'm going to do, I'm going to steal, I'm going to kill, I'm going to smoke, I'm going to do bad things. What I'm going to do, is it correct? Is it good for my health? Will it harm other people? Will it make me a better person? Create friendship. And lastly, teach them to always ask, will this benefit me and all other people? Teach children to understand the four-way test. Let us look at these videos and then we end this episode right here. Videos right on your screen.
Jesus Christ is on his way back. We've already read it even in the devotion that scripture,
Imagine
Revelation chapter 1, verse
that this is
7,
a church in Uganda
says that that day is going to come
and the
where
pastor
the
is
sky
floating in
red,
heaven.
and Jesus Christ
But when you
will
realize
return
it,
again, and
there is a crane there.
we'll
The
see
pastor is
him
being
when
moved
he come again.
with a machine.
Question for you this
But the
morning,
churchgoers
brothers and sisters. The
all
simple
think that
question
the
is this right
pastor is
here.
floating.
Are you ready?
The pastor is flying in air. The
For
pastor is
his
going to
return.
heaven. Ask our children, is this true? Is this pastor going to heaven? Is it God that is lifting this pastor? Oh, it's a machine that is helping this
Black
pastor
man,
float.
come forward. Let me tell you something about your Christianity. After they fabricated stories and voted on it in 325 AD during the Council of Nicaea, Emperor Constantine and the Bishop of Alexandria masterminded the death of 800 church priests who opposed the outcome of the decisions voted upon in the Council of Nicaea. Their books were burnt. An African priest by the name of Eros was excommunicated, and all his teachings about African Egyptian Isis and her child Heru were disbanded. This was white supremacists working. They voted to convert all the story of Isis and Heru to the story of their invented characters, which is Jesus and Mary. That was why in 381 AD, Emperor Theodosius went to Abydos in Egypt and destroyed most of the evidence that shows Africans already had the concept of Christianity in Egyptian mythology before the first story of Jesus. The Council of Nicaea was about the fracas between an African priest by the name of Eros and the Bishop of Alexandria over the issue of the Holy Trinity. According to Eros, in his presentation to the church papacy, the Son is subordinated to the Father and cannot be equal to the Father. But the Bishop of Alexandria presented that both the Father and the Son are of the same substance. The Bishop of Alexandria won the argument, and the church concluded that this will be standing order in Christianity. It was in this council that it was voted to make Jesus a divine character. There was a strong debate in Rome about if Jesus is divine or not. Therefore, through a vote, Jesus became divine in the Council of Nicaea. The celebration of Easter was another significant topic that was discussed and voted upon. The church invented their doctrines through a vote and made it compulsory for generations upon generations. Christianity was invented by the Roman Caesars to keep the Roman Empire and their various colonies in order. This is what the Catholic papacy will not tell the world. The pagan chief priest of Rome before the establishment of Christianity was given the name Pontifex Maximus. This name was later changed to Pope. All the dressing styles, rituals, and symbols of Roman pagan priests were all incorporated into the Christian Church from 30 AD to 325 AD by the Roman Empire. The early popes and bishops were members of the notorious Roman imperial courts, who were also members of the Flavian family, a powerful Roman aristocratic family that came to power after the death of Emperor Nero on the 9th of June, 68 AD. Did you also know that where the Vatican Church now stands, there was once a pagan temple where pagan gods and goddesses were worshipped? This pagan shrine is where the Vatican Church is standing today. It was a court established since the time of Julius Caesar to the time of the Roman Flavians, aimed at defying past and present Roman emperors to the level of a god. The Roman Empire is now the Catholic Church, and all the Roman emperors are represented by the Pope, the name of the Roman pagan priests.
That is my brother Ebenezer Helu, right there with the history of how Christianity was forged. And I trust the history as presented by my brother Ebenezer Helu. Teach that history to the children. Tell them that Christianity is a fabrication of the Romans. And the Romans created Jesus Christ. But actually, Jesus Christ is a Western invention to further imperialism, to promote colonialism, and of course to cement slavery. And that is the truth about Christianity. Teach them about Islam. How did Islam begin? Islam is only 1,300 years old. Christianity is about 2,000 years old. There were other religions before Islam. Hinduism is older than Islam and Christianity. Judaism is older than Islam and Christianity and other religions. There were African traditional religions. Teach them that even in Africa, there were religions there. The people of Kemetic Africa had their own gods. Helu, Isis, Osiris, and others were gods of Africa. Well before Christianity was invented by the colonizers, by the occupiers, by the imperialists. Tell them that Christianity was spread through blood and iron. They had to kill people so that they can be able to introduce Jesus Christ to them. Teach them all these things, the history of religion. And trust me, your children will see sense in questioning dogma. This is man's parenting. This is Humanist parenting at 5. And of course, I want to encourage you to please subscribe to Humanist TV Africa. Send us that email, info@humanisttvafrica.com, and keep us subscribed. Please don't forget to subscribe so that you can be able to see this and more other shows. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.